everybody, I'm Amy Holmes filling in for Steve Malzberg on the Steve Malzberg Show. Steve is off celebrating the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah, so thanks for joining us. Joining me now is Orlando Watson, Communications Director for Black Media and member of the Republican National Committee. Orlando, it's great to have you on today. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be with you, Amy.
All right, so it is the countdown for the second Republican primary debate on Wednesday, being hosted by CNN, and I'm sure all of you at the RNC headquarters will be watching and taking very careful notes. What I want to ask you about, though, is the national polls that show Donald Trump and Ben Carson leading the pack of all of these GOP contenders, and neither of them has served a day in political office. Why do you think it is, Orlando, that your party's voters are so drawn to these two men?
Well, you know, the polls are always up and down, but I must say that both of these candidates who you just mentioned are political outsiders, and there's something that's appealing to voters who support them with their political history and their personal history. Now, I think that goes to show that they're a fresh new face, but it also goes to show that there's diversity and depth within the Republican field, and that's what's sorely lacking, diversity and depth on the Democrat side of the aisle.
All right, Orlando, the outsider status of those two candidates. So let's talk about their political history, at least Donald Trump's political history. And he has said that he has, in the past, he identified more with the Democratic Party, that he actually has thought that the economy does better under Democrats, and he had to promise your party, the Republican Party, that he would not run as a third candidate if he lost the nomination. So my question to you, Orlando, is, do you believe him?
Well, look, we're proud of all of our candidates, and at the end of the day, we want to put them in the best position to defeat whoever the Democrat is.
But do you believe Donald Trump's promise that he will not run as a third-party candidate?
He signed a pledge, and we're going to hold, everyone's going to, their word, they will be held accountable, and, we're going to have to trust them having signed the pledge. But again, we're proud of all of our candidates, and whoever our nominee is, we want to put them in the best position to defeat whoever the Democrat nominee is. And for a while now, it looked like it was Hillary Clinton, but now her campaign is scrambling, and it could be someone else. It could be Bernie Sanders, who's now surged in the polls, and it could be even Vice President Joe Biden.
Yeah, I mean, who would have guessed 6 months ago where this race would be today? I also want to talk about Kim Davis. I'm sure you saw the news this morning that she's agreeing to go back to work. This is the Rowan County clerk in Kentucky who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex and actually heterosexual couples in her county because of her religious opposition to same-sex. Well, she now says that she won't interfere in those licenses being given out from Rowan County. Two GOP candidates, Ted Cruz and Mike Huckabee, have stood by her side, publicly in press conferences supporting her. My question to you is, Orlando, is this where the Republican Party should be going, particularly as Republicans are trying to reach out to younger voters?
Well, where we should be headed is toward victory. And what that looks like is growing the party, expanding the tent, welcoming in voters who share our common principles and beliefs. But I will say that with that being said, the Republican Party platform hasn't changed. We do believe that marriage is between one man and one woman. But some of the things that we're doing here at the Republican National Committee to expand that tent and bring in new voters is really cutting edge, and we're reaching out to black voters, reaching out to Hispanic voters and millennials and Asian Americans. But some of the issues that they're talking about, jobs, education, the economy,
you don't fear that Kim Davis and the same-sex marriage issue and how prominent and public this whole controversy has been could hurt the Republican brand among younger voters?
Well, I mean, younger voters care about a whole number of issues. They're not one-issue voters. They care about student loan debt, and there are a number of Republicans who have presented proposals that would decrease the burden of student loan debt on our younger generation. They care about education reform and jobs, getting jobs out of college, and they're suffering from the effects of the Obama economy. But as Republicans lead on job creation, as we lead on education reform, as we offer proposals to tackle student loan debt, I think these give us opportunities to build trust with young voters and ultimately win back the White House.
So very quickly, did you expect Rick Perry to flame out so quickly?
We're going to see attrition take place throughout this primary election. I think that's just a natural cause that there's so many candidates running and very few resources for them to rely upon. Rick Perry's a great guy. He had an amazing record as governor in Texas. But again, we're proud of our candidates and just want to make sure that they're in the best position to succeed and defeat whoever the Democrat nominee is.
All right. Orlando Watson, thanks so much for joining us, and we hope to have you back after the debate to tell us what you think.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you, Orlando. Coming up next, Edward Luce, columnist and commentator for the Fiscal Times. Please keep joining us at Newsmax TV, and you can also go online to register your comments.